Right, so this is the first recording for a demo of the working app. Most of the features in the app are now working. So here is GBuddy. This is my buddy app for my Gurkha. This app can already handle. This is the main dashboard screen. The app can handle all the cars. So it is a multi-garage application. You can select different vehicles. You can add more vehicles or delete vehicles if you want to. I'll just walk you through most of the interface. Okay, if you notice that there is already a recording going on, that recording icon is basically for the dash cam. So main features on the app are fuel logging and expense logging for all your expenses like repairs and running repairs and regular service, as well as you can record things like your PUC, your insurance, etc., and also set up timers for those things. So we can also do trips, track trips, etc. Let's go after the features one by one. So this is the main dashboard, as I said. You can quickly see the OBD, the odometer reading. This car is right now set to 9,000 kilometers. That's the odometer rating, and the health is 85%. I have not added any fuel logs, I believe. This is a newly installed app unless it has some old cached data. So simply to add a fuel entry, you'll go to quick action, log fuel. You can do it from here, or you can go to the dedicated tab at the bottom. Also the app supports swipe navigation, so I can just simply swipe up and down or swipe left and right. Okay, so if I swipe left, I can switch between different dashboards or the different interfaces. Yeah, then comes the dash, and the next is the dashboard. It has a HUD mode. We'll come back to this later. And then we have services and settings. So yeah, let's go after all of them one by one. So as I said, this is the main dashboard screen. These are quick tiles. You can quickly click on this to reach any area of the app. So for example, let's start with the fuel adding. This is what we do most commonly, or at least I do most commonly. So I'll click the log fuel button. On top you have most of the retailers and the fuel retailers name listed there. So let's say GeoBP. There's the fuel rate. I select diesel. This rate is pre-populated based on the last entry that you made. So let's say I fill 32 liters in my tank. Automatically the total amount is calculated. I'll put the odometer reading. So I think my car is set to 9,000. I'm not sure with the 9,000. So let's just add the current 10,000 kilometers. And it also acquires GPS tag. So if I do it at the fuel station, it will automatically log the fuel station GPS location in the log. Then I can also add other things like I filled up air, 33 psi in rear tires and 30 psi in the front tires. Okay, so I can add more notes like that. And this is a full tank fill up, so I usually calculate full tank full mileage on my BS6 Gurkha. So let's just save entry, and like that you can add more. So next time I fill at BPCL, quantity is only 3 liters. Odometer reading was, let's say, 80. And why I'm adding this is because I want to show you that it changes the graph, right? So FE trend chart will keep on changing. So that'll show you a quick overview of how the fuel economy is doing on your car, right? So in the current mode, it gives you a bar or a graph, so you can quickly find out if a particular fuel station suddenly dropped, fuel efficiency, like that. Okay, so that was that. I mean, that was mainly the fuel fill. And then let's go to the next screen, trips. So here we're using OpenStreetMap instead of Google Map. No data is shared anywhere. It's completely on your phone and OpenStreetMaps. None of your it's a privacy focused app, so no data is shared with any third party. uh, I can simply start a trip. Okay, and before that I can actually even download offline maps. So sometimes it happens that we are going to a remote area and the cell phone connectivity is spotty there, so we can go to manage and let's select so these are some of the pre-populated ones. I'm looking at, probably I'll just redo this interface and give an option to select something on the map, right, for downloading maps, local maps. Let's say Leh Ladakh off-road circuit and Delhi NCR, right? So let's download and keep these maps locally on the phone. So 2 additional regions are now downloaded. So total 3 regions have cached onto the phone. You can also set up the cache retention and auto refresh policy to automatically fetch this map after a certain number of days, or just keep this copy of the map indefinitely. So these are all user configurable parameters. By default it keeps them for 30 days and then refreshes. So that's handy. Okay, now let's close. So okay, and then you can simply add trip. So when I'm starting a trip, I normally just click the start trip button. GPS location located, so let's just say Ghaziabad to Dehradun. That's one of my most common trip, and start location is Ghaziabad. You can also just leave it blank. Oh, sorry, GZB, yeah, and start GPS logging. So you'll notice that it automatically a trip started, and it'll calculate. Right now I'm just sitting on a chair, so it won't of course record any distance, only time will add. But you can, when you're on the road, based on the GPS distance moved, it will automatically calculate the money that you spent in fuel. And you can also append things like toll plaza, for example, expressway, right, toll amount 200. Okay, and then I can add more toll. So I'm just adding some dummy data, right? So you can add multiple tolls and then the toll charges accumulate, so you can quickly find out what's the total spent on a toll. And then you can also edit this data later on, so sometimes I forget to add toll data, and then I can go back later and I can edit a trip. Okay, I can also export it either as a KML or GPX track or a XLS file, and also I can just add toll here. So let's say Muzaffarnagar, right, Muzaffarnagar toll, and that was a 180 rupee toll. Let's say it was 180. Okay, so I can add like that, and then I can of course export this data. So I can consolidate multiple trips, so I can select multiple trips. So let's start another trip, test, just say start GPS, right, and then stop that trip. So I can actually export multiple trips as a consolidated KML or a single XLS, right? I can do that. So the data could be exported if you want to do analysis later, or if you want to write travelog or something and want to add a GPS map, right? So it's cool for that. Now the third feature is something which I've built for dash cam functionality. All 4 cell phones have pretty good cameras, and though it's not really a full-fledged dash cam, but I think it serves the purpose most of the time. So the moment you click on that, it automatically starts recording. So this is what I configured after a few trial and errors. So it will record by default, right? So why? Because when I want to go to the dash cam mode, I just wanted to start recording right away. I don't want to click or fiddle with it, don't want to press too many buttons. Yeah, so the beauty of this thing is that it has a configurable crash lock sensor also. So by default our phones have accelerometers, and using the accelerometer data I can set the sensitivity. So for example, the default is 2.5G. I can lower it down to 1.5G for a demo purpose, right? And it has a 3-file ring buffer, so it records 3 files and then it overwrites the first file once the third file is written. So you'll always have the last 2 files, video files, as evidence, right? And also it has a feature to lock the data, right? So there's a 5-minute segment clip. I can explain more on these in detail, what these different features do. Let's just say 1.5. So what it is doing is it's recording it, but the moment you hit a crash, let's simulate the crash, right? So let's move it to landscape mode, and let's change it to crash scenario, right? So in a crash, where you either take emergency brake, or there is a side impact, somebody hits the car from the side, and you have a G impact, right? So let's try to simulate that impact. So I just tapped my phone real hard, and it detected a crash, and it automatically saved the clip for that. So we'll go back into the portrait mode, and it recorded. Yeah, so it recorded a clip and locked it. So there is a concept of recording the clip and recording. So a locked clip is basically moved to a separate folder. You can also lock your own clips so that it skips the 3-file buffer limit. So by default it will record 3 files: file 1, file 2, and file 3. Once the file 3 is written, then file 1 should be overwritten, just to conserve your disk space on the phone. But if you want to save a file, just simply click the lock clip button, and it will save that. The use case is, for example, you're traveling and you want to record your excursion, your expedition. You want to create a clip, so record your clip and just save lock clip. It will automatically save that clip into a separate, different folder, right? So there are clips. So there is one clip which was manual lock, and then there was this crash event clip. Let's play that. Okay, there's some problem with that. Yeah, I'll test it. Maybe there's some regression bug. Check that. So crash, right? So in a crash, that's that. Okay, so you can play like that. It records. It has basic dash cam functionality now in your phone. Okay, so that was another feature. So the next feature is dashboard mode. This is also one of my favorite features. So when I'm driving, I like to have the OBD. I usually connect the ELM327 based OBD dongle. It's a cheap 250 rupee dongle I keep connected in my car all the time. And once it's plugged in and your car is on, right now I'm sitting outside the car, it's not started, so we don't get OBD data, but otherwise you'll get all this engine RPM, speedometer, etc. data. And then this has a special HUD mode. So I'll put my phone on a phone stand in the car, either on the dashboard or something mounted to the windscreen, and then it will show me this. And the cool thing is that it also has this inclinometer. I always wanted to have an inclinometer in my car. Never really bought one, so I thought I'll just add that feature here. So once you've put it in the car, it will tell you the roll angle, how much your car is tilting, and if you're going uphill or downhill, it will show you that in these two dials in the center. And of course you'll get your kilometer per hour running speed and RPM and coolant and all other interesting data that you want. So that is fully working. Next is service. So service is basically logging more details. I know some of you don't want to see the money you're spending on your car, but I like to keep logs. So when I'm going for a service, I'll just add where I'm getting the service done, what's the charges I paid. For example, oil change service at 10,480 kilometers. Yeah, let's say 7,500 rupees spent. Then there are also other non-service. Okay, also you can add running repairs, right? So instead of a service, I did running repairs, bearing replacement. Okay, authorized service center, and then you can write other notes, UBJ, LBJ, and then it'll create an entry for that, and it will get accumulated to your per hour, to your overall running cost, right? So these costs also add up, right? So at the home screen, you will see two costs. There is average mileage, that is just your fuel consumption in kilometer per liter, and then you also have your running cost, which is fuel per all plus all these service expense that you do on the car. So that'll tell you more like a real running cost of your car. Okay, and then you can also add other kind of expenses, for example insurance renewal, comprehensive zero debt, yeah, or maybe PUC. So you can just log down everything. I think it's 250 rupees. Yep. And delete that. PUC done. Yeah. So you can add logs like that. Also, another cool thing about this is that you can add reminders. So for example, you can set up reminders for regular things, and you can do a reminder based on odometer reading or due days. For example, I just did my PUC renewal and I want to be reminded for a PUC renewal in next 180 days, maybe 200 days, actually 300 days. Okay, so in 300 days I want to do a PUC renewal again, right? So you can just add a reminder and it will show you that reminder in the home page. Okay, and something more urgent, right? So this is transmission oil, this transmission and differential oil change is due in, let's say, I'm just creating a dummy entry just to show up so that it shows up in the main dashboard. Okay, so at 10,490 kilometers, in 2 days this should be done, right? So like that you can create a schedule for tire rotation, etc., etc., and all that will show up on the home screen. Then the last one is the settings. So there are also other settings. So this app comes with a few different themes. So yeah, you get different eye candy with that. So sorry, yeah. So you can change theme. Go to settings, select theme, AMOLED black. Yeah, and then you can also change other colors like material theme, Volt. Yeah, I mean just some nothing too fancy, just some different themes. Okay, so that's that. Now let's come after. Let's go about the most asked feature: OBD diagnostic data and maintenance, right? So yeah. So I added a service log, and you can see that. Sorry, a reminder, and now I already have an action required, a reminder due, right? So in 10 kilometers there is this thing due, so I should do that. I'll take care of it, right? Now another thing is diagnostic, right? So we skipped this earlier. Let's go into the diagnostic tab. This is supposed to run and connect with any OBD connector. I have a Bluetooth connector, and this is not, so right now I have not connected the car yet to the Bluetooth connector. This is just the dummy data, but I want to show you the power. So for example, there is no error in my car, but let's say you have this error in your car. Suddenly the fancy Christmas lights pops up, and then you scan your car with OBD scanner, the 250 rupee scanner, and it will show you something like this, P020113, right? So which is very unintelligible, so then you have to Google search. But here, not anymore. With GBuddy app, you can simply read this error detail. For example, P02013 means cylinder 1 injector A for our Gurkha, ECU detector and open circuit on injector 1, check terminal pin backouts and coil continuity. And if you want to do even a deeper analysis, just click on that troubleshooting link, and then it will give you this page, which is the official diagnostic manual from Force Motors. Okay, so I have taken data from there and then I have added it here. So this error, the probable cause is given here. Effect on the vehicle is idle speed is raised to 1000 RPMs. Vehicle goes into limp mode. There might be misfires, etc. The checkpoints, okay, and then it gives you step by step. Let me just change the theme again. The green is too dark. I mean, very pleasant for my eyes. Sorry about breaking the flow. Yeah, so we were there on this troubleshooting. Okay, yeah, this is much easier on eyes. Okay, so step one, check whether the battery voltage is out of range. Step two, check injector connector, etc, etc, etc. Right, so it has a step-by-step diagnosis exactly for your car. Right, so I have uploaded the entire diagnostic manual embedded into the application itself. I can also search different bits it supports, as well as scroll, right? So I can also scroll and look at error logs and what does this thing do, right, and how to troubleshoot it. All of that is given here. Yeah, so I was able to do all this, and then you can export logs. These are the locations. The storage location is on your phone. It'll create a folder GBuddy, and then it'll save the clips, the dashcam clips, to GBuddy. Locked videos, which are locked dashcam clips, will go into GBuddy locked videos, a separate folder. For example, crash logs, you really want, in case of accident, you want to save that file for sure, so that goes into a separate directory altogether. You cannot accidentally delete that. System logs go into logs directory under the root folder, and then we have exports and backups where you can export data. Also, there are other features which are not implemented yet, and the Bluetooth connectivity for the OBD dongle is a bit iffy right now, so I'm still working on it. But yeah, I was able to do this much so far. Let me stop the recording. It has saved several clips. We can play. So I taking it as and create so many clips and save them. Yeah. So yeah, this is still not perfect. There are still issues that I need to fix, but this is a working prototype. Test it out. Do let me know if you want to test it out or you want to collaborate, and if you have coding skills. I've built all this in Java, Kotlin, using the standard Android Studio framework. So if you're interested to participate in the code, just PM me. If you're interested in just trying out the app, do PM me. I tried the Agentic AI models, and I burned quite a lot of cash. So I burned like 18,000 rupees last week in building this app. Yeah. So if you have coding skills, do reach out to me, and we'll connect and we'll see how to take it forward. Thank you, guys.